Welcome to the Screen the Screener College Basketball Podcast with your hosts, Mike Randall and Gus Kearns.
Welcome in, listeners, to the Screen the Screener College Basketball Podcast, where we're always talking everything college hoops. You could have been anywhere else on the dial, but you chose to be here with us, Mike and Gus. We appreciate that. Happy March. It is officially the best month of the year. Spring awaits, as does some madness. The thaw is occurring, and that means things will start to bloom. And the things that bloom are always beautiful. So let's hop in the car and discover 10 beautiful things in the world of college basketball from this past week. So buckle up your seatbelt, keep those eyes wide open as we take a Screen the Screener style road trip around the sport that we adore. Starting line, we start our road trip inside Big 12. Texas, Baylor, and Kansas, and Oklahoma, and Texas Tech, and West Virginia. And wow, we think of Baylor and then a gap to everyone else, and maybe that is still the case, but not to include Oklahoma State in the latter section of this conversation might be a little bit wrong. After viewing the Cowboys on the road in a major rivalry game against a top 10 Oklahoma team, seems like they should be included in that latter part of the conversation. Cade Cunningham is downright frightening and can win a game or four kinda by himself. The fact that the NCAA has yet to rule on the pending infractions surrounding Oklahoma State leads us to feel comfortable and kinda overjoyed that Cade will find his way to March. He clearly is one of the top 5 basketball players in college hoops this season and impacts winning in a very NBA translatable way with his skill set, size, and hoop IQ. Pretty cool. We got a rematch coming on Monday. Thank you, Big 12. Stop 2. Are we ready to accept the familiar championship names and programs like UConn and Michigan State, Duke, UNC, Indiana, Louisville, and Florida as legit question marks that are just to garner an invite to the big dance in Indy this season? The season has been like no other, and this March will continue that trend. The usual suspects that you blindly advance in your bracket are unusually suspect during this particular season. One of the programs will definitely surprise and definitely advance, and we will all comment, yeah, I guess I knew that would happen, but do we really know yet? Our best guess right now might be to invest in UNC and maybe a Florida future, and perhaps Louisville in that conversation as well, out of this legendary list of successful programs. All 3 are on solid ground to make the field. Florida made the Final Four as a 7 seed. UNC made the Final Four as an 8 seed. Louisville head coach Chris Mack led an 11-seeded Xavier team to the Elite 8 in 2017. And let's not forget that UConn won the whole darn thing as a 7 seed with Shabazz. So maybe we'll have one of these teams surprise as well and make some noise in March. Stop 3, time to examine the importance and value of Belmont's Nick Mazurski. The 6'11 junior has been out the last 2 games, the latest against Morehead State, and Belmont dropped those last 2 games. 1 to a very strong Morehead State Eagles squad, which is now 1 game behind the Bruins in the OVC. Even with Grayson Murphy doing everything possible in Moose's absence with 24 points, 13 boards, 7 assists, 3 steals, 5 made threes, it wasn't enough to make up for Nick Mazurski. He just might be one of the most valuable players in all of college basketball this season after viewing those 2 games where he was absent in recent Bruin losses inside the OVC. Stop 4, let's please take time to admire Severe Wheeler of Georgia. The 5'10 sophomore point guard played alongside the NBA's number 1 draft pick last season and had some flashes, but mostly got overshone. This past week, Wheeler messed around against LSU and found a triple-double for 14 points, 13 assists, and 11 rebounds in a 91-78 win. Wheeler sits 5th nationally with 7.3 assists per game and has solved some of his turnover issues, just not all of them, from his freshman year. Wheeler's just fun to watch and an adventure on both sides of the ball. Hope he returns for Coach Crean as one of the top lead guards next season inside the SEC. Stop 5, time for a pit stop, hit the restroom, wash those hands, grab some snacks. So Max Abrams is kind of awesome. The Oral Roberts sophomore is just one of the most explosive players in the nation that no one is talking about or viewing. Do yourself a favor and tune into the Summit Conference game and just to view Abrams. He leads the Summit in all metrics of import: win shares, offensive box plus minus, offensive rating, which is 126.7, and PER, which is 27.3. His true shooting percentage is over 63%. As a 6'1 lead guard, maybe you're not a metrics fan. How about 34.8 points per game over his last 5 games? Not sold yet? Okay, maybe you just want to go with his shooting numbers. Abrams is shooting 48% from the field, 45% from 3, and 89% from the line, and he only turns it over 2 times a game. And how about, if you just want to hit the rewind button, how about a 33-point, 7 assists, 6 rebounds, 6 made 3, 2 steal performance against Oklahoma State earlier this season? He's nasty in the finest way possible for the Eagles of Laurel Vines. Stop 6. This week we like to play fortune teller for most and take the current temperature in college hoops with a logical sample size. The sample size has gotten bigger, and we can now examine Prairie View A&M. The Panthers have a solid 11-4 record, but it's not that 20-win marker of Belmont or Winthrop or Liberty might hold. And they're sitting undefeated inside the SWAC, a game ahead of Jackson State and rebounding machine Javaris McGinnis. He's averaging over 12 boards a game. Panthers are led by Cam Mack, 6'2 junior guard. They are riding a 10-game winning streak, and the nation's leader in assists is the reason why. Mack is posting 8.5 dimes per game and 2.7 steals per game, along with 13-plus points per game, and he holds Jacob Gilliard type effect on each game on both ends of the floor. Now, we take a look and we might see that the SWAC player of the year just might go to Jackson State's Tristan Jarrett, who's averaging 20-plus a game, but Cam Mack is making a run for the award on the defensive end and with good old-fashioned wins inside the SWAC. Stop 7, Jug Handle, a New Jersey staple in our weekly road trip, and just a lovely New Jersey brewery. Even though the season may only hold 10-ish games for American University, Jersey guard Jameer Harris is making the most out of his limited opportunities. The 6'2 senior is averaging 22-ish points per game over his last 6. Throwing a win over Bucknell over the weekend, and we just have another Jersey guard doing his thing, getting buckets, and winning tough matchups. Wait, what was that? Oh, hang in there, Drake. Hang on for Mike Randall. And hang on, thanks to Joseph Yesufu. The sophomore guard has taken full advantage of the offensive opportunities offered due to the unfortunate injuries to the 2 most important players on the Drake roster. Do everything wing Tank Hemphill and lead guard Roman Penn out. Yesufu graduated into the lead offensive initiator in just a few games. His offensive efficiency is off the charts the past 4 games. How does 25-ish points per game on 65% shooting from the field with only about a singular turnover per game? Drake is many things this season. They're part punchline with coffee cakes. They're one of the final undefeated teams in the nation. They're a cover monster for the wager people out there. But most important characteristic is they just might be one of the finest coached programs in the nation and have shown that toughness. So cheers to Darren DeVries. It's National Coach of the Year type stuff in the MVC. Stop 9, we're so thankful to view conference tournaments. Yeah, they're underway. Hello, Horizon League. Hello, Antoine Davis and Detroit Mercy. 46 points on 10 made threes in an 83-73 win. This conference is going to get a little nutty with Wright State, Cleveland State, Northern Kentucky, and even Youngstown State showing a little sign of life. We predict, see, and hope for a Detroit Mercy Wright State matchup in the finals later this week, and with a 2 or 3 seed maybe shaking in their boots, trying to match up London Love, Tanner Holder from Wright State, or maybe trying to chase Davis off the 3-point line in March. Yeah, that sounds kind of frightening for somebody maybe in Iowa. Stop 10. The final beauty of the week is going to belong to what might come next from the Screen the Screener College Basketball Podcast. Hope everybody tunes in for the next few EPs Tell a friend, spread the good word. Give us a follow on Twitter at SDS Podcast. Efficiency of keystrokes, of course. Please give the screen, the screener, producer, creator, and college basketball analytics nerdhead in the best way possible, Mike Randall, over at Randall Rant on Twitter. You can follow his work over at Last Word on Sports and over at the Action Network as well. Does a great job with Stuckey and Colin and the guys. And if you really like what you're listening to, don't forget, leave a nice review in your podcast consumption vehicle of choice. Kindness is always cool. We'll catch up with you before you know it. Thank you for allowing us to be one of your college basketball conduits this particular season, and we're looking forward to spending a little bit of March inside your earbuds or on your speakers. Thanks for allowing us to do that and fill that space. Cheers, cilantro, gratulazione, arigato.
I'm addicted to the appetite. It's a